In this video, we will go over another type of integral problem. This problem will be trig substitution. And so this right here are some useful formulas that we will need for this type of integral. And so if you want, you can pause the video here and write the following formulas. These are the main ones. So the square root of a squared minus x squared, then we would use x is equal to a sine theta. If you have the square root of a squared plus x squared, then you would use x is equal to a tan theta. And if you have the square root of x squared minus a squared, then you would use x is equal to a secant theta. And these are useful trig identities that we will also need, but you probably know most of them. And so this right here is the integral that we want to solve. And if you want, you can pause the video here and attempt this problem. So the first step is to use that standard equation that we saw in the previous slides. So that was the square root of a squared minus x squared. And that looks very similar to what we have here. And with this formula, then we would say that x is equal to a sine theta, and our dx is equal to a cosine theta d theta. Now in our case, our a term will be 6, because 6 squared is 36. And so we would have x is equal to 6 sine theta, and so our dx is equal to 6 cosine theta d theta. You can also rearrange this piece right here and say that x divided by 6 is equal to sine theta. And now we simply swap. So we say the integral of the square root of 36 minus, instead of x, we put this. So instead of x, we put this piece here. But this piece is going to be squared. That's why it's 36 sine squared theta times, now instead of dx, we replace it with this. So times 6 cosine theta d theta. Next, we can kind of like factor out a 36 for this piece right here. And we would get the square root of 36 parentheses 1 minus sine squared theta, close parentheses, times 6 cosine theta d theta. Now it's important to know our trig identities, because 1 minus sine squared theta is equal to cosine squared theta. And so we would have the square root of 36 cosine squared theta times 6 cosine theta d theta. Now the square root of 36 cosine squared theta is 6 cosine theta. This piece stays the same, times 6 cosine theta d theta. Now we have a 6 times 6, so that's a 36, so we can put it in the front. So we have 36, the integral of cosine squared theta d theta. And now we need to apply another trig identity. This one maybe you don't remember, and it was this piece right here. Cosine squared x is equal to 1/2 parentheses 1 plus cosine 2x, close parentheses. And so we simply swap, and this is what we get. And now we can take this 1/2 and we can put it in the front. So 36 times 1/2 is 18. The integral of 1 plus cosine parentheses 2 theta, then d theta. And we get theta plus 1/2 sine 2 theta, close parentheses, plus c. Now we need to apply another trig identity, because we have sine parentheses 2 theta. And so we'll use this trig identity here. Sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cosine x. And so we simply swap. So 18 parentheses theta plus 1/2 times what we swap it with. 2 times sine theta times cosine theta, close parentheses, plus c. So this line right here is what we did in the previous slide. And now we have 2 times 1/2. That's simply going to be 1. So we get sine theta. And so now this is the form that we have. Now you need to remember, in the very beginning, we said that x is equal to 6 sine theta. Or you could say that x divided by 6 is equal to sine theta. So now I draw a triangle. I say this is theta, and then theta, opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is x, hypotenuse is 6. And that means this piece right here will be the square root of 36 minus x squared. And so now we have all the pieces. So we have 18 parentheses. What's theta? Theta, we could say, is arc sine x divided by 6. Plus sine theta. What is sine theta? Sine theta, we said, was x divided by 6 times cosine theta. What is cosine theta? So adjacent over hypotenuse. So times parentheses the square root of 36 minus x squared divided by 6. And don't forget the plus c. And the next step is to multiply this 18. So 18 times this piece is 18 arc sine parentheses x divided by 6. This is 6 times 6, so the denominator is 36. But we're multiplying by 18, so the denominator will become 2. And then don't forget the plus c. And so this right here is our final answer. And that's all we need to do for this problem.